Hello everyone, this is Dr. Irfan Kamaruddin Andani. In our previous video on this playlist of cephalometric analysis, we discussed skeletal sagittal problems and how to analyze them using Steiner's analysis. Let me remind you that there are more than 250 analyses available, but none of these cephalometric analysis is perfect. And there are limitations and flaws in each of them. So today we will see some misleading factors or limitations of Steiner's analysis. So let's begin. This patient, when we examined his profile, he has a straight facial profile. And when we analyzed this patient with Steiner's analysis, we concluded that he has a skeletal class 1 relationship of maxilla with the mandible, because his A and B angle was between 0 and 4 degrees. That means his maxilla and mandible are properly aligned in normal relationship with each other in sagittal plane. But sometimes you may come across few patients where you see that they have a straight profile with normal relationship of maxilla with the mandible in sagittal plane, but when you analyze them with Steiner's analysis, the angle A and B shows something very different. Angle A and B may show the value either above 4 degrees or sometimes below 0, that means negative A and B. In other words, according to angle A and B, the patient is either skeletal class 2 or skeletal class 3, but not skeletal class 1. Why does this happen? Because there are few misleading factors in Steiner's analysis. What are those? Let us zoom and focus on angle A and B. This angle A and B depends on 3 landmarks: point A, point B and Nasion. Now let's assume both the jaws, mandible and maxilla are in proper class 1 relationship, but the position of landmark Nasion is altered. Let's say the Nasion has moved a little bit forward. So what will be the impact of this movement on angle A and B? Like in this patient, you can see clearly that glabella or frontal bone is very much prominent. In these kind of patient, you may find that Nasion is little bit ahead. So what is the effect of this thing on angle A and B? Angle A and B becomes negative, and you may wrongly conclude that this patient has class 3 relationship of maxilla with the mandible in sagittal plane. However, both the jaws are still aligned in class 1 position. We have not moved neither maxilla or the mandible. But just because of the position of the Nasion, it has affected your diagnosis. Similarly, when Nasion is moved little bit backward, the same case becomes class 2. Again, the position of Nasion has misguided us. Now let's see what happens when the vertical distance between Nasion and both the jaws is altered. Again, the maxilla and mandible are in perfect relationship in class 1 relationship in sagittal plane, but the facial height of the patient, especially the midface, is deficient. Now you can appreciate here that angle A and B has increased. So the skeletal class 1 patient becomes now skeletal class 2. Again, wrong diagnosis. Now let's see what happens if there is clockwise rotation of the maxilla and the mandible together. Again, the same case becomes severe class 2. However, we have not moved maxilla or mandible in sagittal plane at all, and the relationship of both the jaws is still in class 1. So let us conclude here that the position of Nasion can mislead you to a wrong diagnosis, and you have to be very careful about this thing, especially in the patients with some frontal bossing or long face and short face patients. To overcome this misleading factor, either you can go for any alternate analysis, or you can add Eastman correction factor, which will be a topic of discussion in my next video. Till then, have a good day.